Loneliness and isolation is considered a public health threat because it increases our risk not just for mental health issues such as depression and anxiety disorder and also suicide, but it also increases your risk of other conditions such as cardiovascular disease and heart failure. Um, and what could have sparked the loneliness pandemic or propelled it even more? What were we told to do a few years ago? Isolate, to be in isolation. Humans are not designed, we aren't designed to isolate from each other. We're meant to be social organisms. And as a result of that, there has been maladaptation occurring. The US Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, has signaled this as an important public health issue. And the United States government has taken strong steps to address loneliness and isolation, which is something we need to consider in the Caribbean. What are some simple steps that you might recognize that you might be at risk of loneliness? An intense fear of being isolated or a craving to be alone for extended periods of time. You go home on weekends and you don't feel to socialize with anyone until you have to go to work on Monday. You don't answer calls, you're not text me only, respond to text days. And I know some people watching this are probably going to say, sounds like you. But in terms of isolation, it is a risk factor. What happens is then you find other unhealthy hobbies, such as consuming alcohol or consuming unhealthy foods when you're in isolation. As a result, we go into this state of mental unhealthiness, which is very difficult to self-diagnose, a state of depression and even anxiety disorder. Young people especially are at risk because they're now developing their whole social identity, and we've disrupted that. To put things in perspective, loneliness has a greater impact on your odds ratio of mortality than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yet we have a whole set of ads out there about smoking cessation and the risk cigarette has for both lung cancer as well as heart disease. No one's talking about loneliness. Loneliness is the next public health threat. We need to consider it carefully.